What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to CFL Central, CFL content for the fans, by the fans. This is going to be our preview of the biggest game of the CFL season, without a doubt so far. The battle of the undefeated teams, the battle for number one in the West, the battle for basically who is the number one team in the CFL entirely right now. The BC Lions versus the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. It's going to be a hell of a match on Saturday in BC Place. I will be in attendance. Carter, you'll be watching it at home. Sucks to be you. Honestly, this is going to be a great game, and this is why we wanted to break this down, ladies and gentlemen. Just a quick, simple explanation. There's a lot to talk about this game. A lot more than just 2 minutes in a quick preview of what's upcoming for this week. So we wanted to give this game the just attention that it deserves. So without any further ado, I'm going to throw the mic over to Carter. How do you feel about this from the Bombers' standpoint? Coming off of that lucky win, let's be real. You know, it wasn't a terrible game, but it was kind of lucky with that field goal. How do you feel going into this game against a tough opponent in the BC Lions?
This is the first. This is the test for the Bombers, because I mean, if we look at this from the Bombers side of things, they've had a few games so far, and each of those games they've won. Some of them more questionable than others, and after each game I've seen the conversation of, oh, the Bombers got lucky with this. The Bombers were fortunate about that, and this and that, and so. And then also, like, you know, the Bombers were fortunate that this team made those kinds of mistakes. And we're not going to see that with the Lions here. So this is going to really tell that if indeed the Bombers got lucky, or if in fact there's more to it than that, and if this team is prepared to play the way it needs to against really tough opponents. And BC right now is red hot.
Without a doubt.
They are, yeah.
They're the hottest team in football, without a doubt, since the entire start of the season. You know, when you look at the dominant performances that they put up, the crushing defeat of the Elks in Week 1 in the home opener, blowing out the Argonauts in Week 3. You get a great back-and-forth battle last week against Ottawa, a team that barely lost twice to the Bombers, so a really good test and strength to show how those two teams match up against probably one of the better teams in the East. I don't think Ottawa's record does them just right now and how good they are, but that's a topic for another day. But I really thought that game for me was kind of the I don't even know what to describe it as. It almost was like the bar. Like, it set the bar for what I expect kind of going into Saturday. I expect a very close game. It could be separated by 2 points, 1 point, 3 points. It could be that close. Like, it could even go to overtime. I wouldn't be surprised. I really think that this coming up Saturday, we will see the best of Nathan Rourke. And we will have to see the best of Zach Collaros, because Zach Collaros has been good this season, but he's also not been his best. Like, let's be real. He's had much better games. It's better starts than what we've seen so far this season. He's not been terrible, but he's looked flustered at times, and he hasn't made the best decisions. While, on the other hand, Nathan Rourke was immaculate his first 2 games, comes in and plays the Red Blacks, throws a couple interceptions, has some trouble, but keeps himself contained. His composure is always there the entire time, and he still ended up winning the win and playing a very complete game. And I think that it really comes down to the quarterback battle. I think that the Bombers have some weaknesses on their defense just as much as the Lions do. I think the offensive line for the Lions is just as good as the offensive line, if not. Obviously, the Bombers has better players, but I think just the way they're playing as a unit.
I think the Lions have the actual performance of the Lions
is I'd say is a bit better.
Has been better so far this season. Yeah,
you know, it's not personnel.
The concern, because I have a concern going each way. The concern I have for the Bombers, it has got to be that DB core, just because, not that they don't have what it takes, but it's just that they have been extremely hit and miss this season with some pretty big misses, and with some pretty big misses, including your star guy playing not very good at all in the first 2 games, being sat the 3rd game, finally to really start to shine in that last game. But the question is how consistent is that going to be? Are we going to see that? Because now it's like you're going against Nathan Rourke right now. And Nathan Rourke right now looks like the best quarterback in the CFL currently, no question.
Without a doubt he is. I think he actually, didn't he just get named Player of the Month, if I'm not mistaken? I think he was named Player of the Month for June. So, but like, you know what I mean? Like, he's been fantastic. Like, I've got the stats pulled up right here. And other than Dane Evans, who, let's be real, Hamilton's been absolute ass, so he doesn't really count for his stats. And he's only thrown, 4 more yards than Nathan Rourke. Nathan Rourke has 2 interceptions with almost 1,100 yards thrown.
For sure.
Like, that is insane. His touchdown record is just even crazier. His completion rate is at 83.8%, almost 84% completion. Just absolutely 9 touchdowns to start the season so far throwing for. 9 touchdowns.
Yeah.
He's averaging a first down every throw.
Of course he is.
Like this is going to be.
I'm not surprised.
This is going to be a tough matchup at quarterback because I like Zach Collaros, and Zach Collaros has the experience over Nathan Rourke, obviously, especially for the fact that you're coming off the Most Outstanding Player award, 2 back-to-back Grey Cups. The guy has been incredible. So obviously you've got that pedigree there on the Bombers. The Bombers have that. They're known for that. But I really think what this battle is going to come down to, in my opinion, is how good the Bombers can run the ball. If the Bombers can finally run the ball half decent, I think they could maybe make to have a little bit more of a lead than some people would think. Because in my opinion, the weakest link of this entire Bombers team is the running back. In my opinion, it's actually a complete joke. I think Brady Oliveira has been complete ass to start this season. I think the usage of Johnny Augustine has just been terrible. So I think that this is the game that you have to test your running game. If you're the Bombers and you're O'Shea in the offense, you have to get those guys going because the Lions are missing their number 1 running back. You need to take advantage of the fact that they're not going to be running the ball as much as they would be if they were completely healthy. And I think that really is where the Bombers have the upper hand.
This is where I get concerned, and this is where if I was on the Lions here, I'd be concerned because with the Bombers, you got to make sure that your DB core is in check. With the Lions, I'd be afraid of that defensive line that the Bombers got. With Willie Jefferson and Jackson Jeffcoat as those 2 ends. Mm-hmm. You know, Nathan Rourke has been able to put up quite that performance that he has, and it's been great. And that offensive line has done well. However, the question I have is when they go against that defensive line, does Nathan Rourke crack a bit? He might. We don't know yet.
Obviously, he probably will.
We don't know how well, and we don't know how well their BC's offensive line is going to be able to deal with such a threat in that sense. So if I was BC, I'd be concerned about that.
The only thing I would say in credit to BC is that I think that they're allowing Rourke to have more flexibility outside of the pocket, whereas Collaros lately, you know, he doesn't run as much, and when he does run, it's like almost terrifying. Like you don't trust him to.
I'd say that.
Exactly. Exactly. That's why I'm saying it's like
I actually do trust it. So I trust him.
As fans, you trust him, but the team seems to not trust him at all. Like, I don't see him running more.
Well, you know
he's
why
not a bad.
is, right?
I know, because they don't want to injure him and all that. They want to keep him up.
Because he's injury prone. That's why.
They want to keep him healthy, and I get that. But at the same time, you're going against a quarterback in Rourke that just ran for a 50-yard touchdown.
Yep.
Like, this is a guy that is not afraid to take a hit. He's not afraid to leave the pocket, and he will get creative on you. So, yeah, the Bombers have a great defensive line, and Big Hill's going to be hunting for him all night. We know that, but I think there's going to be a lot more elements in play on how the offense is going to fluctuate when the defense is on and certain setups that they're going to run. Because obviously the Bombers are going to run a lot of blitzes. They're going to run a lot of coverage coming. They're going to run a lot of man-on-man coverage with probably a lot of blitzes at times because Rourke and that pocket can collapse. We've seen it in times. We've seen Rourke been forced out of the pocket and make very special plays. But whether or not he'll be able to do that with, like what you said, with the
sometimes
with the
those
personnel.
Special plays were a result of everything in front of him, everything in front of him collapsing, though.
But exactly,
so it's one of those things where
it depends on how much time you'll have.
To collapse, then maybe your outside linebackers then pick up the scraps in that sense.
If they're able to get him.
As much as this will be a battle of running backs in that sense, and this is where the Bombers really have to finally say, but we got to get this going. I think there's no doubt that the offense on both of these teams are good. You know, the Bombers have a good offense. I don't think it's as hot as the Lions' offense right now. However, the question I have is, how good are the Lions going to be at stopping Zach Collaros and stopping his throwing game? And specifically, they're going to have to look out for a guy like Greg Ellingson. Greg Ellingson has had quite the performance this season. He has shown that he is the number 1 receiver that the Bombers have. So I'm curious to see how the Lions are able to deal with that and maybe bring a different approach.
I think that while you're kind of hitting the nail right on the head, I also wouldn't be as worried because the Lions have already went up against some good wide receivers and have done a very good job at boxing them out and making plays like that, right? Like really, when you this isn't a team that's played like only crap teams. That Ottawa game was a real test in their strength, and it showed how much that they can really bind together as a team and use all their strengths. And
so many people don't realize that Ottawa is actually not a bad team.
They're not. They're not a bad team at all. It's a shit record and bad luck. Like they could easily be 2-0. They could easily be 3-0. Really, they could be. But yeah, at the end of the day, I'm gonna go into. I'm gonna look. At the end of the day, we can talk about this for hours about elements of it. I'm gonna cut it short. I'm gonna give you guys my prediction as a fan of both these clubs, even more than Carter is, as I'm a guy out here in Vancouver. I gotta say, I am taking the Lions. I think that this is the game that the Bombers will lose. It's not going to be an embarrassment, but I think this will be a reality check for the Bombers because the Bombers have had problems this season against weaker opponents and lucked out a little bit. And I'm not saying they've gotten all lucky wins. They've had lucky plays that have went in their favor. 50-50 plays that they've gone in their favor, basically. Not luck, just going in their favor. I think that in a situation against the Lions, you're not going to be able to give them a lot of opportunity to score. And they fuck up a couple plays, if they miss a field goal, something as small as that could cost the game in this situation. So I'm taking the Lions solely based on the fact that I think right now the Lions have shown to be a better complete team compared to where the Bombers are. But I think down the line, I think this will be. I actually think this will be good for the Bombers. I think losing a close game to the Lions will really be like, damn, we gotta play this year. Like we've lost some guys, we need to bounce back, and I think that'll be good for them. So I'm taking the Lions in this game, and I'm taking the Lions on a point spread. Probably under 6. I think it'll be a very close game. I think it could be decided by a field goal. I think maybe 3 to 2 points.
I honestly, I think it'll be 3 or under in terms of the point differentials. As much as I love the Bombers and I really want the Bombers to win this game, I do think the Lions probably will take this one. As you have to remember, the Bombers, as good as they are, and as much as they're going to be able to win a lot of games, they're not going to go undefeated. They're gonna lose a game or two.
Just like the Lions are losing a game or two.
We had an impressive season last season, and we lost 3 times. You know what I mean? And so this is, I think, going to be the first loss. I think it's going to be a competitive loss. I think it's going to be a good game. But I think, like you said, I think this will be a bit of a reality check where it's like, we are not invincible. Because I feel like that's good. Honestly I feel like that's maybe some of the reasons why some of the players that you would have expected to really activate really haven't. It's not because they can't. It's simply because,
they don't think they need to.
When you're under pressure and you know that you're a little vulnerable, you play better, you put in more effort, and everything goes better.
Excuse me. So. Yeah, I couldn't agree more, my friend. I just to let you all know, because I know you're wondering, I'll be at the game. What jersey are you wearing? I'll be wearing the Russell Wilson. No, I'm just joking. I will be wearing the Harris jersey. I will be going with my dad, so we'll be repping the Bombers blue for this one. So yeah, gotta rep the Bombers. Look, basically, I'm not gonna be in Winnipeg for a game this year, guys. All right, so I gotta root for the Bombers when they're here. I'm not gonna be at the stadium this year, which just sucks, but maybe for the West Final if I get lucky. But nonetheless, and if they get there, but we will see. We will see. So and I think that kind of weird that the guy in the Bombers jersey, I'm not going to lie, I really thought you were going to still pick the Bombers. I didn't think you wouldn't, but I respect the honesty, my friend, and so do the viewers. Thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. We hope you enjoyed, and please let us know what your thoughts are on the biggest game of the season so far down in the comments section below. We'd love to hear them, as always. Thank you so much for watching from both of us. Have a great rest of your day. Make sure to follow all the affiliated links down in the description below, as always. Peace, love, and positivity, as always. And from both me and Carter, go Lions, go!